Now, let me share with you a little history about peaches. The peach is the member of the rose family, originated in China. Peaches were mentioned in Chinese writing as far back as the 10th century BC and were a favorite fruit of the emperors. The Persians brought the peach from China and passed it on to the Romans. The peach was brought to America by the Spanish explorers in the 16th century and eventually made it to England and France by the 17th century. American Indian tribes are credited with migrating the peach tree across the United States, taking seeds along with them and planting them as they roved the country. Today, peaches are one of the second largest commercial fruit crop in the States, second only to apples. Now, let's begin our peach cobbler. I'm going to take you down south. So, first, we're going to start with our dry ingredients again. 1 cup of flour, half a cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons baking powder, now, we have butter. Now, we have to cut it up into little pieces and then mix it in with the dry ingredients. Just kind of break it up into a few pieces. We cut a stick of butter in half because we're going to use the other half of our butter later. So now, we just kind of mash the butter in with the dry ingredients. We're kind of making a crust for our peach cobbler, a fast crust. And again, we want to make sure it's like coarse breadcrumbs. Flew out the bowl a little there. You just keep mashing the butter into the flour mixture until it becomes coarse breadcrumbs. Okay, as you can see, it's starting to form like coarse breadcrumbs. So now we can add our milk. Add our milk, 1 cup of milk, and just kind of circle it in there. The milk is actually going to make it take on a different consistency here. As you can see, it kind of looks almost soupy. Not quite like the dough we made earlier, but more of a liquid dough almost. So we just beat that on up till it's almost smooth. And while you're doing this, the other half of the butter, remember I said we cut the butter in half? We actually melt that in the oven. And your oven should be preheated to 350 this time. Okay, in this case, we have the butter melted from the oven. It's not too hot because it doesn't take that long to melt, so the pan hasn't really gotten too hot yet, so you can actually touch it a little bit. And you just kind of swirl the butter around, let it coat the sides of your pan, like so. Then we take our mixture, pour it in, like so. And as you can see, it's a little butter that's formed a ring around the pan. That's okay because it's all going to cook together and it's going to come out so yummy. So as you can see, it's like a little, the butter kind of ran to the side. Okay. Now for our peaches. You peel a peach, cut it in pieces, just like so. Slice, slice. Probably need 4 to 6 peaches for this. And just keep slicing. Slice, slice, slice. And in the end, you'll have nice freshly cut peaches. And what you do is with the circular pan, I prefer the 9-inch round. If you use a square pan, use the 10-inch. And you just layer the peaches like so. Circle. Quick, fast peach cobbler for you and your guest. I like to keep my peaches nice and cold before I add them so they retain their fresh taste. You just layer it. You can overlap the peaches a little bit. And remember, don't forget, preheat your oven at 300. Good old-fashioned Georgia peaches. So I'm sure you're wondering, what happened to the top crust? Now this is the fun part of this recipe. Pretty much when it cooks, the crust is going to bake around the peaches. So it might look like I'm just sticking peaches in what looks like some type of batter and butter, but you'll see the finished product is fabulous and tastes great too. All right, so it looks like we filled up enough peaches here. If you're a real peach lover, you know, you can add more, but I think we're about done here. So now we stick this into our preheated oven. And again, I put it on the baking sheet covered in foil because I don't want any drippage in my oven. Ooh, hot. And this has to cook for 45 minutes or until the crust is golden brown. So we'll check back in 45 minutes. Okay, 45 minutes later, let's check our peach cobbler. Smells so good. Are you guys ready for this? Is this lovely or what? Look at that. See how the crust baked up over the peaches? It's excellent. Okay, now let's taste our lovely dish. Okay guys, let's taste our peach cobbler. Oh, just cut it like a pie. All right, let's get in there. Let's grab a fork. And again, if you want to add a little whipped cream for presentation purposes, maybe just a dollop this time. There we go. A little cinnamon. Lovely. Let's try. I love crust with peach cobbler. This is excellent.